has extensive medical training in internal medicine and endocrinology and is a strong advocate for popular forms of spirituality. Deepak has written over 80 books in the field, including 22 New York Times bestsellers. Through his books, videos, and lectures, he's become one of the world's most well-known public figures on holistic health. Welcome. You're an amazing doctor, spiritual teacher, professor, author, father, husband, and on top of that, you run a hugely successful enterprise. What can you tell me about how to balance the work life and the spiritual life?
I think just assume that there's only a spiritual life and nothing else. If you do that, then everything else follows. So come from your spirit at all times and forget about the work life. It will spontaneously flow.
Even when the phones are ringing and everyone's pulling you in 5 different directions and
when
you
the
need
phones
to...
are pulling and everybody's, phones are ringing, everybody's pulling in your 5 directions, you don't like it, then just tell yourself, why did I create that? We create everything that happens to us, and then we say that's happening to us when in fact we make it happen. The world that you experience every single moment is a reflection of your inner state of being. So if your inner state of being is peace, harmony, laughter, quiet, equanimity, love, compassion, truth, goodness, harmony, then your world will reflect that. I mean, I have, as you said, all these things going on, but I'm at peace. That's why these things happen. And they happen with effortless spontaneity. If you think you're working hard, if you don't have enough energy, if you're feeling stressed, and if you have resistance, if things are not happening as you wanted them to happen, then you're not connected to your source.
So if you're having a bad day, then you're not connected to...
Why did I make that happen? Just take 1000% responsibility to what is happening in your world. And if you don't like the reflection, then smashing the mirror is not going to help.
Right, because in the end, you're still there. Oh, I love that. Do you have advice for people like me that run a business and have a spirituality practice and have no time for ourselves?
You must get good sleep. You must take at least 20 minutes to meditate. You must take time to eat properly and consciously. And you must take time to nurture relationships. Everything else will follow. So, divide your day. Playtime, work time, rest time, sleep time, downtime, and very focused work time. When you're working, be 100% focused. But outside of that, take time to do all the other things. If you're working and you're checking your iPhone or on the computer and for something else, you'll be distracted. So work should be very focused, but it shouldn't be all you have.
Can
so
I
it's
come
more.
Live with you?
It's called do less and accomplish more. Ultimately, do nothing and accomplish everything.
Yeah, that's what I feel like sometimes, and that's actually good advice, is to separate
flow.
that and set those time limits. Until I started preparing for this interview, I hadn't heard of Jayo. What can you tell us about it? Am I pronouncing that correctly? All right, it looks like so much fun. What was your premise? How did it come to be?
I wanted to create a site, and that's what Jayo.com is now, which is the go-to site for personal and social transformation. So I've always had the goal that if we had 1 billion people engaging in personal transformation, we could probably create a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier and happier world. So Jayo is a place for everyone, from millennials to older people who want to achieve well-being, whether it's personal well-being, emotional well-being, spiritual well-being, social well-being, community well-being, financial well-being, career well-being. This is the place to go. There's content, there's technology, there's feedback, there are tutorials, classrooms, one-to-one coaching, all everything. Of that. And it's going live. It's already live, but it will be formally live by the middle of October, and it'll be available to millions of people.
That sounds amazing. It really looked like a lot of fun, and I'm very excited for you, and very excited to be a part of it.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to learn about the Sage Scientist Synopsum in 2017 that you've organized. What can you tell me about it?
The Chopra Foundation is engaged in many activities. Sages and Scientists Symposium is one of them. It brings together the most interesting people in the worlds of science, philosophy, arts and humanities all together. So we discuss everything from the origin of the universe to cosmology, to physics, to biology, but how that applies to the human condition and the future of civilization on our planet. So it's a wonderful experience, and people can find out more about it by going to the Chopra Foundation. But then the foundation does other work. So by the way, the website is choprafoundation.org.
Okay.
We do other work. We support an orphanage in India. We partner with other people to send about 1.5 million children to school every day in India and get them a meal. But we also do research on the brain, on genes, epigenetics, the effects of meditation on how our genes function, and how we can create a new science which is based on consciousness, and we are calling that self-directed biological transformation. We are actually engaged with many universities to look at gene expression, or what is called genomics, what happens in your body as a result of a reflection, experiencing gratitude, doing meditation, engaging in conscious communication. So that's the most exciting thing we're doing.
And there's so much, research being done now, and I think that it's really helping our culture embrace meditation more and a better way of life. So it's really beautiful work that you're doing. So thank you for doing that. So now your new book coming out this month, Super Genes, Unlock the Astonishing Power of Your DNA for Optimum Health and Well-Being. It's coming out this November. What's one thing that you could tell me that's in the book that I can start today to help change my biological destiny?
The one thing would be meditation. We have shown, along with other scientists, that just the daily practice of meditation increases the level of an enzyme called telomerase that regulates your biological age. So you can, just by doing that, change how you age at the level of your genetics. That's the one thing you can do, but there are many more things in the book.
I do have a meditation practice. I do. I live by it.
Very good.
One of my favorite quotes of yours is, "Aging is simply learned behavior." I love that.
We age in the way we learn from others. If people around you are aging in an accelerated way, then because, again, your relationships reflect your own stage of consciousness, you will age the way they do. On the other hand, if you have examples of people who not only age in a way that could be called graceful, but also glamorous, and people who can, in fact, reverse the biological markers of aging, as we show in the book, then you will learn to age in a different way.
It's amazing. It's really, really amazing. And another interesting thing to see is how the Chopra Foundation combines consciousness with science and the synthesis of science and the soul, as you call it, right? Can you share any recent research breakthroughs or projects that you're working on now?
The most important projects at the Chopra Foundation are on epigenetics, which is how the environment influences the expression of our genes. But also now we're looking at the microbiome, which is 90% of the cells in your body. And actually 150 times more DNA content comes in your body is from bacteria. So for every, say, 23,000 genes that we have in our body, which is the human genome, there are 3.3 million bacterial genes. The bacterial genes outnumber human genes by a ratio of 150 to 1. So these are everywhere in your skin, in your gut, in your colon, in all the orifices of your body, and they respond to things like sleep, meditation, breathing, yoga, exercise, emotions, and food. By paying attention to these different components of our daily experience, we can actually help the bacterial genes regulate the human genes. This is an amazing research which is combining genetics with epigenetics with the microbiome.
But how can you study those genes while we're sleeping? How do you hook somebody up to a...
You take a sample of the
saliva
or their tears, and you can do that.
So while someone's sleeping,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You can do brain waves, lots of things.
Right.
And you can correlate that with inflammatory markers and many other things.
So much.
And also, the effects of sleep can be measured even after the sleep.
When a person wakes up?
Yeah.
How?
Well, when you have a good night's sleep, don't you feel refreshed? So
okay.
There must be some biological correlate of that.
Okay. I'm curious to know about how my sleep is.
Well, this is what Jayo will do. It will be monitoring your sleep, our website, jayo.com.
Right.
Sleep, emotions, exercise, heart rate, variability, stress levels, correlating it with gene expression, all on a website if you're wearing a few devices.
Devices. Okay. These devices have really been helpful, right? The new
Yes.
technology?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what else can you tell us about transformation and how best to nurture those parts of ourselves that are just not
Well, there's
balanced and we
physical
don't feel...
transformation, which we've discussed, but then there's social transformation, which means family and friends. And the more you engage with them, the more you help each other transform. There is community transformation, which is an extension of that. There is career transformation. If your calling, your job, and your career are in alignment, and who you're working with. Are you part of an effective team that has shared vision, emotional bonding, that support, where everyone supports each other and also complements strengths. Then finally there's financial security. All these things are inseparably woven into each other. Again, this will all be, the tools for this will be on jayo.com.
Okay. Now you said something earlier about how smashing the mirror and how our outer world is a reflection of ourselves. Is that everything? Like, I know about the mirror work. I've done some of the mirror work, and I know what I project out to others. If I'm feeling angry, it's really something within myself that I need to address. But were you alluding to the fact that everything in our outer world is a circumstance of of an experience in our life or how we've been raised?
Everything in your world is a reflection of your state of consciousness and of the state of consciousness of the people that you hang out with. So right now, if you see a world that is full of war and terrorism and eco-destruction, extinction of life, mechanized death, pollution, poisoned food, climate change, this is the projection of our collective consciousness, yes. That's why you need a critical mass of people who are engaged in more peace, harmony, love, compassion, joy, and that will translate into a different world. But even your personal world, in the midst of that, is ultimately a reflection of your deeper levels of awareness, yes. There is no outer world. The world is in you.
Right, of course.
The world that exists in your awareness.
One of the last questions we like to ask our guests is, tell us one of your Rewire Me moments.
I'm embarrassed to say I didn't need to. No, I had rewiring moments, many of them during my residency and my internship, because I was pretty stressed, taking care of a lot of stressful people, and I realized I couldn't help them if I didn't take care of myself. But that was in another incarnation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Deepak. This has been an amazing experience for me, and I'm so excited to share this interview with our audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.